Once again, we reassemble for the most wonderful time of the year. The NFL season is upon us, and it's going to be a great one right here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. We will take a look at our teams and week one in general, give you our thoughts, synopsis, etc., getting you set for week one action that starts in just a couple of days. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kick it with us on episode 204 of the Kirby on Sports podcast, coming your way next. Whoa. Hold up. Am I looking this date correctly here? Are you sure? It's back? We're back? That's all the confirmation I need. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's time to rock and roll! We're back! The NFL football season! We've missed you. We've missed all our listeners, all our viewers. Oh, man. My heart's racing. I haven't done this in so long. Am I going to screw up this podcast? I hope not. It's the Kirby on Sports podcast. We are back in business. I will probably get insulted about how bad this intro is coming up. But I did not come alone. The first member of our team is a man, Baltimore Ravens fan, who provides very great insight into the Kirby on Sports podcast. He is a legend in our eyes. And I don't know when that album's dropping, but Dan, the Weapon Dembski. Dan, welcome back, buddy. Welcome.
Woo! Let's go. Also, I hate you for getting that picture of me. By the way, no permission used, just taking it. So I'll see you in court. Also, you hung up on me. That was kind of rude. But
hung up on you?
Never mind. Yeah, it's great to be back, man. It's great the football is finally here. Just 2 days away from the big kickoff. Man, I'm just so excited for this season. It's gotten here. It felt like it took a long time to get here, but man, now it's finally arrived at our doorstep, and it's going to be a hell of a season. I can't wait to share it with you boys.
Yeah, I am excited. Thank you once again for everything you have done. Will continue to do. I do appreciate it. But do you hear that?
I do.
Uh-oh.
Music trailing in. Who could it be, I wonder?
This is a man of many introductions. He is the two-time Kirby on Sports.
It's a hell of a picture.
PickEm champion. And if you see, he's got the belts. He's got the swag. He's got the style. It is the Swiss Army knife. Carlos Martinez. Carlos!
Put me in the right spot. There we go.
What an intro. I'm not going to lie. What an intro. I mean, really rough at the beginning, but what an intro. You saved it at the end. That was a great intro for me. Ladies and gentlemen, your two-time Kirby on Sports PickEm's champion has arrived. Yes. Your eyes do not deceive you. I am back, and I do not come without a major announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not watching this podcast right now on YouTube, what are you doing? Pause on your podcast feed, jump over to YouTube real quick, and because you're going to want to see this. Ladies and gentlemen, as your two-time Kirby on Sports PickEm champion, it gets a little exhausting carrying 2 belts. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I now show you my new championship belt, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A belt fit
man,
for a champion. Yes, a new belt
that looks
for a new year. And we're going to earn this third one by winning for a third year in a row and doing exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do. 3-peat, baby. Let's go. I'm Steve Boys. What's up?
That was, man, I got chills right now. I'll tell you what, Carlos. Well done. Also, that belt looks really sick. That looks really sick.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Yes,
check that out.
yes. Bought this. I didn't show you guys yet, so
It looks
Yeah.
nice.
this is my newest acquisition.
It looks very nice.
It's really good.
So we have some housekeeping, so bear with me here for just a second, boys. Our well, hey, we'll get to this in just a second, but our sponsors, I cannot thank them enough for everything they have done for the Kirby on Sports podcast. PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest and Termite Services, the Transformative Alignment Group, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, and the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. And you may have seen the 3-man booth absent for the summer, but boy, I kid you not, it was the greatest coverage season outside of football that the Kirby on Sports podcast has ever had.
That you did, by the way.
Yes.
That was all you. That was all you. We had nothing to do with it.
For the most
Great
part,
job.
because,
Seriously.
but yes, I appreciate it. And to give you sort of a rundown of what I've done, I've been out to numerous Loud United media days and games up in Leesburg. That's some very exciting soccer, I'll tell you. I mean, it's the USL and Loud United's about the middle of the pack, but they have some really great players. Got a chance to talk with ownership at the home opener, the general manager. I've talked to him a couple times, the new GM. He's had a stint with UVA as well. So that was pretty cool to see. So doing that, then lo and behold, I just pulled the trigger. Washington Spirit. What an adventure that was. I cover them. They were playing Angel City FC. It rained to start, but afterwards it cleared up. They ended up beating Angel City FC 4-2, but that was one of the most memorable experiences that I have ever been a part of. Press credentials, a full buffet in the press box.
He got catering.
Talking to Trinity Rodman after scoring 2 goals.
It's pretty cool.
And
that is really
putting
cool.
that on the podcast. Then the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. That's some fun baseball. First year, that is an easy access ballpark for a low amount of money for tickets. I kid you not. You're in, you're out. The ballpark's right in the middle of Hagerstown, Maryland. For some of you down here, it's just up I-81 North. But Hagerstown, really nice town, and the ballpark adds so much more. Got some coverage of their inaugural season. I even talked to a pitcher, first game starting, who went to Shenandoah University. So it was fun catching up with him and rolling right in, obviously doing a Spirit Media Availability Day as well. and then rolling right in to adding high school sports coverage on the Kirby on Sports podcast. I've been out to every single football.
Something I've been telling you to do for years. Something I've been telling you to do for years.
You know, that was all me. That was all me. And me and Carlos had a conversation
years ago. Years ago.
No, but we had a conversation recently, and to this day, I still think it's true. People have an appetite for local high school sports coverage, and
they do.
I brought it to the table. I made it happen, and I mean, the response has been nothing but wonderful. So
fantastic.
I mean, all the stuff I've been doing is just
you've been doing. Like I said, me and Dan have done nothing.
Yes,
but that's pretty much been the off season. So
a round of applause to you for all the work you've done. Seriously, seriously.
And I got you famous in our local newspaper as well.
Oh yeah, we did. We did show up on there.
Appreciate it.
Show up. And thank you for giving me the credit I deserve. Finally.
Yeah. I wasn't about to go on there, and I made sure they were like, gotta add my co-host, Carlos Martinez, Dan Dembski, like for doing all the stuff we do in season. That's what really gratifies me. You all being on during the football season, and then not really doing podcasts, but pumping out content, video after video after video. That's what really warms my heart. And the amount of support I've gotten from the time the Super Bowl ended to now is just incredible. And I just can't believe it. And I can't thank everybody enough. And I can't wait to see where this can take us in the next football season and further.
Well, you've worked hard. So hats off to you, man. Seriously.
Well, listen, it always takes like 5 to 10 years to become an overnight success. So, you know, the fact that things are going well is good.
That's right.
And it all started on a bench outside of my alma mater high school.
It's not a college. It's not a college. You can't call it your alma mater. It's just a high school, bro.
My high school.
Look, he already triggered me. We're only 12 minutes into the podcast, and he's already triggered me.
That might be a record.
Hey, it was a conversation on a bench, and it's like, why don't you start a podcast?
It was good. It was a
where
good point.
Where did it take us?
Here. Here.
I will break away again because this is very cool, integrating local high school sports into college football 25. Carlos Martinez, my hat's off to you for that.
Yeah, I have 16 schools made so far.
It's really cool.
I've made 16 schools, and I think I'm stopping there for now, but because I can only fit. Actually, no, I lied. I have 17 schools, but you can only download 16. So I'm like, why am I going to keep making more if I can't actually have them on my system? But yeah, I've created Shenandoah. I've created Millbrook, James Wood, Hanley. I created Fort Hill, Allegheny. I've created a lot of local high schools. So if you want to play, just look up my gamer tag, which is C Martinez 1752, and you'll find all my creations. And yes, I do put a lot of work into them. It takes a lot of searching around for good pictures of uniforms and seeing how fields are laid out and stuff like that. And then you got to go into Photoshop and create the text for the, for the field and for their jerseys. It's a lot of work. So please download them. My most popular team is Martinsburg.
Of course.
That's sitting at 250 plus downloads so far.
That's really good, man.
Wow.
Congrats.
Yeah, that's my most popular one. That's the one that blew up really fast as soon as I put it out.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
and it's pretty fun too with college football back as well. So the new game. So
the game is so much fun.
Yep.
So much fun.
Yeah.
A new excitement for college football now, more than in years past, I think,
Yeah.
with the game and
A
everything.
new
Yeah, unless you're a
excitement.
Florida State fan.
true
that
that.
sucks because I'm kind of a Florida State fan. It hurts.
Yeah, it really sucks.
The memes of DJ, their quarterback, I can't even
DJ
pronounce.
Ugalele. I can't say
DJ Ungale or something. Yeah,
The memes of him, I'm like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
It's
working at
bad. As
McDonald's.
soon as I found out that Florida State got him, I was like, oh, they're cooked because we saw what he was like at Clemson. I didn't really care to watch him at Oregon State, but like from what I saw at Clemson, I was like, this guy's just not. He just does not have it.
Yeah, some guys don't have it. What can you say?
Nope, he does not. But you know,
Clemson doesn't have it this year either, which makes me happy.
But that's on Dabo.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
You saw that coming down the pike a long time
Oh
ago.
yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah, you saw it a long time ago.
Well, boys, any fun plans you did this past off season before we dive into it?
dreamed about football. Let's do this, man.
I mean,
right.
dude, we're at the time of recording, we're 48 hours away. At the time of release, we'll be a little over 24 hours away.
That's right.
Like we're so close. Like we're so close.
We can taste it.
What's beautiful is there's a rivalry within the family right now, so it's coming to fruition.
Yep, absolutely.
With that being said, we will dive into NFL football coverage, but first, a word from our sponsors. For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Welcoming you back to the Kirby on Sports podcast with the weapon Dan Dembski, Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez. I am Josh Kirby. Let's dive right into it, boys. I think we've had enough conversation. Let's talk about some football.
We've lollygagged enough.
Yes, we have burned enough time. Let's go. Let's roll.
Let's go.
As I am battling a cough, so I had to mute there.
Nobody knew. Nobody knew what was happening. Why did you have to say anything? Me and Dan covered for you.
Rookie mistake. Oh, boy. Here we go.
I do apologize. But, yes, where to start. Last season, obviously, it was a down year for the Chiefs, but they still won the Super Bowl.
Even in our down year, baby, we're still the best.
We had some good buffalo chicken dip, some cheese dip.
Good.
You guys came over. We had a great time. That is probably one of the best nights we've had, like hanging out together.
Definitely.
Just chilling, watching the Super Bowl. me and Dan are like kind of freaking out because one of us is gonna win the Pick'ems challenge. It was a good night, boys, and I appreciate you guys coming out.
It was
a ton of
definitely a
fun.
lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, it was just a nice night of brotherhood, having some good food and watching a hell of a good game as well.
Some great
And
food. It was a
to your
great
family
football
as
game.
well. Family as well for being great hosts, and you as well. So
Yeah,
appreciate
and obviously
you all.
my little sister's boyfriend just coming with the one-liners.
Oh yeah, forgot about that
Paper
almost.
Tigers over there.
Oh, man.
That was funny, but it is now upon us a new season that starts on Thursday as Dan's
Old is new
Baltimore
again,
Ravens
my friends. What's old is new
travels
again.
to Kansas City to face the Chiefs, and that kicks off an epic Thursday, Friday in Brazil, and Sunday
Brazil.
and Monday. Brazil's going to be interesting. I
Yeah.
won't be able
Yeah,
to
I
watch
agree. I agree. It's gonna be very interesting.
something. Yeah.
I
Go
think with the Brazil game in my mind,
Mhm.
with the time zone, never playing in Brazil before, I think that's going to add a layer of who knows what's going to happen in this game, if you get what I mean. Plus, it's week 1 as well.
Yeah, so
Well,
there's
you're
already
gonna-
going to
That
be
makes sense.
craziness in week 1 as it is. So like that's why like from a lot of shows that I've like been like listening to and everything, like everybody's like this actually might be the best time to go into an international game that's
Good
like
point.
never been done, and because it's week 1, so it's already crazy.
one.
So like yeah, hold on. Where exactly are they playing this game in Brazil?
Yeah, because it's hard. Yeah, I mean, you got to think if you're week 4, week 5, week 6, if you're going to London or Germany or wherever they've done games in the past, it takes a toll on you for sure. And a lot of teams, I think teams have a choice to either take a bye week after those mid-season international games, or they can choose to forego that to later in the season.
Okay.
It takes a toll on you for sure.
So they're playing in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So it's not Rio. So they're not playing in the Maracanã, the most iconic stadium in Brazil. They're playing in a soccer stadium, but it's not the famous one in Brazil. So that sucks. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird. I don't know why they picked Brazil specifically. I'm still trying to figure out what the strategy is there. I just don't know. But I don't think the time zones are that affected.
It's not that much different. Yeah.
And also, it's not summertime over there. So, like, it's not going to be muggy down there.
And apparently, players can't leave their hotel room because it's dangerous down there.
Brazil is a very dangerous country. Obviously, everybody knows about the favelas and all that stuff, but that's all in Rio. But they just don't want anybody at risk, because obviously they're high-profile American NFL players.
Yeah, they could be a target for sure.
They could be a target for sure, and also you just don't want anything weird to happen.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because there's going to be people waiting to say "I told you so" when stuff happens as well. So you got to think of that aspect of it. And Brazil's only 1 hour ahead in Sao Paulo. They're only 1 hour ahead of us. So
what time is this game being played at again? Hold on, I got it.
And it's a Peacock exclusive.
Gotta love that.
Yeah,
Peacock exclusive.
Yeah, just paywall. I saw a thing. It's gonna cost
Friday at 8:15 p.m. Let's go. I like a Friday night game. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
although that'll be 7 o'clock here. That'll be great.
No. It's 8:15 here, 9:15 over there.
Here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 9:15 over there.
That's not too bad.
No, that's good.
So with
What else
that,
is going on Friday night?
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
high school football, but
so that's the one thing I'm surprised of, because the NFL has always made this conscious effort to not be on Fridays because they don't want to, disturb the holy sanctity that is high school football. So like that's why I'm surprised that they're doing such an early Friday night game, but now they're even starting to talk about moving the schedule up to Labor Day weekend. and launching on Labor Day weekend now
Same time as
because
college football. Yeah.
but that's the thing is like college football, that's when they launch. So it's like, why are we
That's the holy
competing against each
sanctity,
other now?
It's all about the
The
bench
NFL is
boost, man.
ruthless, man. They're ruthless.
You know, they're talking about they're going to expand the schedule again. It's just a matter of when.
By
They go to 18
adding
games.
another game, but to do that, you
so-
gotta add another bye week. They have to add a bye week.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
grind.
too much for
Yeah.
just one bye week.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean,
agreed.
though, I mean, we're all over the place right now. But like the other bye week, like they should keep it the same, in my opinion. Is like, or like the format that I thought that I really enjoyed was, you keep the bye week format that it is right now, where every team gets one just randomly throughout the season. But then there's also that 1 week where the whole league is off.
Okay.
Then that's like the second
That
one
could
where there's like just 1 week where there's no football. People have said maybe put the Pro Bowl there, but I'm like, why? How about we just don't do the Pro Bowl? Nobody
The
watches
flag
the Pro Bowl.
football bowl.
Just get rid of it. It's just
Just get rid of it. Let these guys rest. Like none of these guys are gonna want to come out and play a dumb flag football game. It's like just leave it alone.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, I like that format a lot, where the whole league just takes a week off, and it also gives us like a reset too. To just like
Some of us
chill.
Some of us are football junkies too, and we just want to see it all the time. But.
Well, luckily for you, college football will still be on. So
That's right. Exactly right.
So with that, you got the Sunday slate and Monday night.
We haven't even said who's playing who.
Are we
of the Ravens
doing?
and Chiefs.
Is it multiple Monday night games again? I can't remember.
I don't believe week 1, but I think week 2. Let me check.
I think you're right. I think this is the 1 year they decided not to do multiple. On week 1, but then for some reason they're doing it multiple on week 2.
It's really.
And I want to say it's got something to do with the Sao Paulo game, because obviously they lost a game.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, but anyways, it's a full slate. Again, let's circle back though. The Ravens and the Chiefs. Obviously,
live from the land of the free and the home of the Chiefs.
Yes. So, gentlemen, your thoughts on this Ravens Chiefs matchup, because obviously it's a rematch of the dreaded AFC Championship game.
Okay.
And for Carlos,
only dreaded for one side, not for me.
It was a very happy day for Carlos.
It was a great day for me. Indeed, it was. I'm just surprised the Taylor Swift trash talk hasn't picked up yet. Not the way it did last season.
It's because we've seen her consistently. People are kind of used to her.
Actually, we haven't seen her. I think the reason why the trash talk hasn't started is because we haven't seen her consistently in the football sphere lately. Because
we've heard her. We've seen her mentioned, is what I should say. We haven't seen her face, or we haven't seen her around.
That's what I'm saying. Is that like she's not really in like the football public eye right now? I bet you. After this game, after we get all the millions of shots of her, after we get the millions of shots of her, week 2, it's gonna start up again. It's gonna start up again.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who look forward to going after her for sure, which I think is kind of stupid. But but hey,
it's part of the job, I guess.
When you're the biggest pop star in the world, that type of stuff's gonna happen.
Indeed.
So,
but no, I was just gonna say, I think the thing for the Ravens is, they lost a good amount of guys on defense. They lost several players on offense. Obviously, they also added Derrick Henry. I think that's kind of what I'm looking for in this game, to see how they can run the football against the Chiefs defense that they did not run the football against in the AFC Championship game. The reason that they got into the AFC Championship
still
game.
Beyond me. Like, it still baffles my mind how we were all expecting that. Everybody was expecting the Ravens to do what they had been doing all season, which was run the ball, and
did not do it.
They just overthought it. They overthought the game plan, and they were like, "We're gonna zig when everybody's expecting us to zag," and they decided to try to be a team that they have not been all season.
Blew up in their face.
But again, it's not as if like they weren't not in that game. I mean, the game only what was it, 17-10 was the final score, and like. it took some actual like big plays. Like again, Zay Flowers was about to score,
About
and
to tie it.
L'Jarius Sneed gets the well-timed fumble before he crosses the plane.
Yeah,
It was just like, in a way, it just felt like it was just destiny. The Chiefs were gonna win, and because like everything was just going their way.
It went
All
their way.
those ridiculous, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that kept coming up. Just I feel like the Ravens were too hyped up for the game.
They were too.
And
they need to be tamped down. Yep.
Yeah, and I really kind of like the attitude they're going into this game with, which is they're not hyping themselves up too much. They're like, hey, like at the end of the day, like this is just week 1. So like even if the Ravens lose,
matter.
our season's not over.
No,
we still got 16 more games to play. Now obviously, like now if they get like blown out, then we're gonna have some questions. But I don't foresee that happening. I really don't. Lamar Jackson doesn't get blown out, but he does have trouble with Patrick Mahomes. So this is a big game for Lamar Jackson right now.
Yeah, they beat him. I don't know if it was last year in the regular season. I think, they did. Did they play last year or the year before?
No. You're thinking of a few years ago when we played in Baltimore, and that's the legendary, what do you want to do, Lamar? And he was like, let's go for 2.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, so that must have been 2 years ago now. God, time just flies.
I know.
But yeah, I think the thing for me in this game, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. Like Carlos said, if they do lose, it's like Kansas City's the cream of the crop. They're the team to beat. Everybody knows it. If you don't know it, you're living under a rock, and you have been living under a rock for now 5 years almost. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee. So, as they say. But no, I think the key for the Ravens is offensively, just like I said, run the football. Lamar, we know in the offseason he lost a considerable amount of weight compared to what he played at last year. He's in what I would say the best physical condition he's been in since early on in his career with the Ravens when he ran all over everyone.
Quick, though, does that not, does that concern you? Because, like, the reason why he put on the weight was to try to help with his injury issue.
Right.
So are you afraid that him slimming back down, he's going to be at risk of being injury prone again?
Well, he hasn't. See, that's the thing is he hasn't really been that injury prone. I mean, he's had, I think most of the times he's been out in his career, to me, has been illnesses and just other odd things. He's had a couple injuries here and there, but I think for the most part, he's been healthy. And when you talk about mobile quarterbacks throughout the last 10 to 15 years in the NFL, what's the biggest thing against them? They don't know how to not take hits and stay healthy. So I think Lamar generally has done a pretty good job of that. So I don't think I'm concerned with that as much.
Do you think another reason why he's like okay slimming down is because now you guys have Derrick Henry and he's going to be taking a majority of the blows?
Yeah.
And he's going to be the one running mostly. So Lamar's like, hey, like I just need to be mobile, because I think Lamar said at some point, I can't remember if it was specifically about the AFC Championship game, that like he just felt like he didn't have the speed anymore to like get away from those guys.
He did not.
And yeah, I agree. Like he definitely, it sometimes feels like he doesn't have that speed anymore that he had earlier in his career. And if he feels like this is how he can get it back, I mean, okay, I'm all for it. Like this is what made you into the superstar that you are. I guess go back to it if you feel like it's safe and you feel like you're going to be able to manage your body better. So
I mean, not to mention, like, as far as regular season is concerned, he's got nothing to prove, right? He's won 2 MVPs. I mean, it's not like he has a lot to prove there. We know, and everyone knows about his playoff record and his lack of success in the playoffs. That's been,
but I think we can put that argument to rest now because of the fact that, hey, they did get to the AFC Championship game last year.
It's true.
And they did do it pretty impressively, right? Yeah. And it's just, if they would have just played their game the way that they had played all season,
they got out of their game.
I really think they could have beaten the Chiefs. I really do. Because the Chiefs were having some issues stopping the run. I mean, we saw it in that Buffalo game where I can't remember their running back's name anymore.
Shoot.
It was a Cook. It was Cook. It was Dalvin Cook. James Cook. Yeah, right? I don't know, whatever.
James Cook.
Yeah, he wore number 4, didn't he? Yeah. Also?
It wasn't Dalvin, but it was a
Then
James.
I obviously wasn't Dalvin because Dalvin
Cook.
was on Baltimore, right? At that point.
He was. Yep.
Yeah. So it was James Cook. Yeah. So and we saw James Cook was just running it. Josh Allen was just running it, and like the Chiefs were having issues. So that's why a lot of us Chiefs fans were like, "Man, it's going to be really tough because we're struggling to stop the run." And then, like we said, Baltimore just decided not to do that for some
the
reason.
opposite way completely. Yeah.
And I guess it's because they're like, "Oh, well, they're preparing for us, to do what we normally do. Well, we're gonna show them different. We're gonna try to pass the ball everywhere," and it just didn't work out. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know how I feel about this game. I really don't, just because we don't have a lot of, the Chiefs have a lot of new pieces too. We lost a lot of guys. Obviously, one of the biggest losses that we had was we had to trade L'Jarius Sneed, who again made one of the biggest plays of that championship game and has been one of the best corners, in the league for the past few years. Obviously, we do still have Trent McDuffie, who has just been locked down ever since he came into the league, which is incredible. He's only 2 years in the league, 2 Super Bowls, and he's already just regarded as one of the best lockdown corners. And he was out for the first 8 weeks of his rookie season because he was injured. We lost. Tragically, we lost Kadarius Toney. Oh God. Oh, what will we ever do? Mr. Drop it himself. We lost him. We lost a few key guys. So it'll be very, and we brought, obviously, I feel like this receiving core is significantly better. Obviously, Hollywood Brown is not going to play in this game. So no,
he's not significant anyway. So
okay, Dan. I know you're a little bitter about the way he went there, Baltimore. But we're talking about him with Patrick Mahomes.
All right,
he's pretty good.
I'll give you that. I'll give you the Mahomes. Okay,
he's pretty. Patrick Mahomes makes him at a different level. Obviously, we got
stay healthy. Yeah,
we got the kid from Texas. What's his name? Xavier Worthy. Yeah, you see, because I don't know why I want to say Woods.
He's projected to look pretty good from what I'm seeing.
I mean, he's a speed guy, and he's a guy that we haven't had since Tyreek. Obviously Tyreek is super fast, but this guy's pretty fast. So he's going to be able to take the top off the defense. We feel, and then obviously we have Rashid Rice, which get his offseason issues aside, was the second best receiver on this team last year.
Yeah, very good.
And then obviously we got the old guy, Mr. Swifty himself, Travis Kelce. Shout out to him. And then, we have the greatest quarterback in the league right now, Patrick Mahomes. So that offense is good to go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
My questions are on the defensive side.
That's what I'm concerned with the Ravens is defensively. They lost a good amount of players, of course, losing their defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, to become head coach of the Seahawks. I think that was a big departure. I think what he was able to instill, and I think he was only there for 2 to 3 years, I can't remember exactly, as defensive coordinator, but it wasn't long. He was able to turn that defense around and make them, a really dominant group last year. And I don't think their defense gets enough credit for how they came along last year. And
the defense was so great last year.
Good.
I mean, Kyle Hamilton took his game to another level.
Yep,
obviously, Agent Zero was phenomenal.
Roquan Smith, man. Yeah, and we're glad to have Roquan back, of course. But we did lose some guys too.
Deuces to Patrick Queen. Deuces.
Yeah, Patrick Queen.
Enjoy Pittsburgh, you traitor.
We also lost Geno Stone, safety, and a couple guys at defensive back, including Rock Ya-Sin. So, yeah, they've had some bumps in the road of losing some guys, but that's how it goes in the offseason. You're not going to be able to keep everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's true with every team. So, yeah, I think overall I'm excited about the offense. I think we can keep pace with anybody in the league. But I think I'm concerned of how this defense is going to be able to slow down.
What about your receivers? Are you worried about the receivers at all? Because obviously you guys lost Odell. Oh God, what a loss!
Odell, that's such a huge loss.
We don't.
You guys are obviously getting Mark Andrews back though.
Yeah, we don't really have a number one go-to guy in my opinion right now, which is a little concerning for me. That's why
You
I
wouldn't
think
say Zay is that guy?
I don't know. I think I need to see more from him still.
That's
I
right.
think if he didn't struggle, obviously he had the big fumble in the AFC title game. We already alluded to it. I hope he's moved past that and he can use that to grow and develop as a player. That's what you hope for any player in that situation. So I think it's yet to be seen. But obviously having Mark Andrews back is huge. And I think running the football for us once again is going to be a big thing. Obviously, that's why they went and got Derrick Henry. We talked about Lamar slimming down. I think that's going to make a difference. We'll see how the offensive line does. We kind of lost some pieces there too. John Simpson being one of those guys who was kind of a cornerstone in this offensive line that didn't have a lot of injuries last year. Did at times lose guys, but not like the Ravens have been hit in the past with so many offensive line injuries. I think of 2 years ago when I think it was like week one, they had like 1 million injuries.
Been there. We've been there too.
Yeah.
And what's worse is ours happened right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Nothing's worse than a duct tape offensive line, but you got to do what you got to do. But
Agreed.
we'll see. I think it's going to be a challenge to beat Kansas City. We know how good they are. I mean, back-to-back
in
Super
Arrowhead.
Bowls. It's in Arrowhead. It's going to be
Super
a tough
Bowl celebration night.
But
Taylor Swift
I will raise a point. What happened this time last year?
So again, the Kansas City did lose to Detroit, but you got to think about what Kansas City was walking into like, with what they had. There was no Travis Kelce. He had just hurt his knee, like tweaked his knee. Chris Jones sat out that game because he was in a contract dispute.
He was in a
and the receivers were not catching the ball. It's not as if Patrick Mahomes wasn't making these plays. The receivers, just like they did for a majority of the season, were not making the play. We're not finishing the plays. Patrick Mahomes was literally giving it in their hands, and they were not. They were just bricks. So, and Detroit, fair game to them. They played a great game, and they only won by a point. So it's not unrealistic to say that Baltimore can win this game. Baltimore can 100% win this game. And it would not surprise me if they win this game because they have great motivation behind them to win and to prove a point, that, hey, like this is what this is what we can actually do against this team.
Yeah.
But we all know Patrick Mahomes ain't going to go quietly.
No,
he's going to put up a fight. This is going to be a great game, in my opinion. There's, the whole world is going to be watching. Lamar's got a point to prove. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are chasing history. They're trying to be the first team to ever three-peat.
Starts 1-0.
The storylines are there, man. Like it's going to be a great game, and whoever wins, it's not the end of the season for the loser. And this also does not mean you've won the Super Bowl if you win this game.
Right. Well said, Carlos. Perfectly said, actually.
And I mean, just to add, I think the Ravens are coming in with heavy hearts with the loss of Jacoby Jones. Obviously,
there's that too. Obviously, they just lost their offensive line coach.
Coach D, that was. I mean, I shared that. I'm not sure if you. I assume you all saw that later.
Yeah.
Just what a tragedy! Like weeks before the season starts, he was on staff working with the team, and all of a sudden he's gone.
Just a medical.
It happens, man. You just never know.
You just don't know. It's just
we can go at any time, man. It's never guaranteed.
So I think the Ravens will be motivated too, not just on Thursday, but throughout the course of the season to play for Jacoby Jones and Coach D. I know they will probably honor them in some way, shape, or form, but
first home game, I'm sure.
Heavy in that they want to come out and perform well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. Plus, the Super Bowl is in New Orleans this year, and that's where Jacoby
made that one beautiful kick return.
Man, he had himself a game for sure.
I mean, I would definitely say that it will not surprise me. It will not surprise me if this is not the last time the Chiefs and the Ravens see each other. I have a feeling like we're going to see each other in the playoffs again.
I agree, 100%.
So with that, we got to take another break here, but I want to run down just the matchups that are upcoming, and we can discuss the rest of our teams, but there's so much more to come. So glad you're with us right here on the Kirby on Sports podcast.
Bedbugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bedbug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bedbugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
Hi, this is Mark Peter Lynch with Guild Mortgage. One of the greatest joys in doing business over the last 30 years in the Shenandoah Valley is helping people buy their first home. Buying their first home and putting the keys in their hand at the closing table has brought me so much joy. If you want to buy your first home, a second home, or an investment property, or build wealth through investment in real estate, give me a call. My phone number is 540-664-4700, or you can find me on the World Wide Web at www.marksmortgage.com.
Welcoming you back to the Kirby on Sports podcast. I got the weapon Dan Dembski, the Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez with me. So thank you for tuning in once again. Thank you. Our last segment about the Ravens and Chiefs. But again, running through the rest of our matchups, and it's not like we're going to sit here and talk about them, but just so you know who is playing, just in case you don't know yet. Friday, obviously, the Packers and the Eagles from Brazil. And Sunday,
my friend, Brazil. You gotta say it like Dominic Toretto did. This is Brazil.
Yeah.
You got the Steelers, Falcons, Cardinals, Bills, Titans, Bears, Patriots, Bengals, Texans, Colts, Jags, Dolphins, Panthers, Saints, Vikings, Giants, Raiders, Chargers, Commanders, Buccaneers, Broncos, Seahawks, Cowboys, Browns. That's going to be an exciting matchup in Tom Brady's broadcast debut.
Yeah,
the Rams and the Lions, a rematch of last year's playoff game, and Monday Night Football, the Jets and 49ers. I mean, I could probably sit here for about an hour. We could talk about big storylines from all these teams, but we just don't have time. But looking at that slate, a lot of good matchups. I mean, looking Caleb Williams for the Bears set to make his first start. Jaden Daniels for the Commanders, obviously. A lot of new head coaches
sitting on the bench.
Listen,
honestly, it's the smart move because that offensive line that they have in New England is terrible. And you don't want to ruin this kid. You don't. Yep. And Jacoby's a solid starter. So I'm okay with it. Even though Gerard Mayo said that Drake May outplayed Jacoby Brissett, but it makes sense.
It's pretty rough to say that and then turn around.
I mean,
it makes sense. You want to protect this kid. You don't want to. You don't.
No, it makes 100% sense. Yep. Yeah, it makes 100% sense.
Bo Nix looking to be the starter in Denver.
Come on.
The Vikings without JJ McCarthy. The Giants, I'm not sure what's up with them. Watching the offseason of Hard Knocks.
Daniel Jones. Yeah, also Sam Darnold starting over there in Minnesota.
Yeah. That's going to be something.
The Texans Colts, I think that's going to be a good game.
I was going to say that.
That'll be a fun game.
That's kind of my game to watch.
It's going to be interesting to see Anthony Richardson, how he comes back from the injury. And obviously everybody's ready to crown CJ Stroud as the next guy. So
slow down on that.
It'll be interesting to see. And, that Texans team loaded up. So we'll see.
They're a problem in the AFC, no doubt.
We'll see. They have some
if
issues
they stay
on
healthy.
their teams.
If they stay healthy.
Yeah, and also Stephon Diggs doesn't,
You just don't know.
Stephon Diggs. You just never know with him.
So we spoke about the Ravens and Chiefs. Do we want to start with the Cowboys, Browns, or Commanders, Bucks?
Well, we got to get your sound music ready for the Commanders, Browns. So.
I say we do Commanders, Bucks because me and Dan have already talked for a while. So
let's let you go.
Yeah, let's let you take it, and then we can finish with the Cowboys, since the Cowboys are what pulls in the ratings anyways. So, God damn it, I hate.
All
this.
right, Jerry Jones, GM Jerry Jones for life.
Well, week 1 matchup. This is going to be interesting. I'm not
big show,
overlooking
baby.
Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay made some noise in the playoffs. I mean, they were close to beating Detroit.
It's good to
They
Baker
were.
Mayfield didn't earn that contract extension for nothing. And their running game looks good defensively. I don't know
Solid
who they're returning. I haven't looked into that deeply, but they were solid last year on defense from what I've seen. So it's going to be interesting. The Commanders, I'm hopeful. But a hopeful, I mean, with everything they've done in the offseason and cutting down on the roster substantially, some cuts that I haven't seen coming, the Dotson trade, there are some key pieces to work with. I've seen in preseason Jaden Daniels, he looks pretty good. Dan Quinn, new head coach, confident that Jaden Daniels can get the job done as the starter. You have Joe Wood Jr., the defensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, Ken Norton on that staff as well. So it's the element of the unknown, in my opinion. I have good hopes for the Commanders. I feel like with what they have on paper, they can win more than 4 games, which I'm hoping is a fair assessment. But
I would say so.
yeah, but I mean, with how everything's looking, I don't think playoffs are in the picture yet, but they are slowly inching on the right track of ridding everything from the old regime. And we saw news in the offseason, Jason Wright, the team president, will be departing after this season. So with that, that's pretty much everything that's from the old regime. So
can they protect Jaden Daniels? Is that something you're concerned with? Because we've seen this before, right? We've seen Washington bring in a quarterback, and they just can't protect him.
Well, they did make some offensive line signings. They obviously brought in a bunch of Cowboys players. They brought in Tyler Biotish. He's an undersized center, but I think he's a solid. I think he's a solid center. I think people give him a little too much flack. I don't know why. I always thought he was pretty solid. I never thought he was as bad as some people make him out to be.
Yeah.
I like Nick Allegretti, but I know he's had some injury issues. So
I mean, he played the Super Bowl with the torn elbow ligament or whatever. So it's like, why wouldn't you want this kid on your team? He's a tough SOB.
Yeah,
that guy's gonna play through everything. He was like, "Get me an elbow brace." They got him elbow brace, and he finished the game, and he played phenomenal.
Yep, it's very true.
Jaden looks good. You have Brian Robinson back there. They have to run the ball more, and we've seen that in years past. They're sticking to the pass, but they have to focus on the run game a lot more than they did. Off topic, just looking, I'm sort of glad that they got rid of Eric Bieniemy, because look at what UCLA did this past weekend. Just throwing that out there.
All right.
I did not watch UCLA football.
Yeah, with Eric Bieniemy on staff, nothing happened. So I'm just throwing that out there, but it's the element of the unknown. I'm hoping that the Commanders can do decent in the division, within division play.
It's going to be the challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be the challenge for sure. But I feel like this is another clean slate, and we'll have to see how it goes down. But I feel like this is more than a 4-win team from last year. And what really pisses me off is the fact that Ron Rivera still gets a platform to talk about his former team that he coached. I'm like, why? And looking at Ron's draft picks from back in the day, and this just aggravates me.
Terrible.
Forbes, Dotson, he's gone. I mean, Jamin Davis. I mean, it's crazy. So
his
hopefully,
picks are the GM's picks.
Well, obviously, Ron gets a say in the picks, but
Right, but he's not pushing the button, is what I'm saying. Usually.
Yeah, but
I agree. I mean, I'm with you.
But still,
He's just a hater.
I just hope the new coaching staff, Adam Peters and company, can make the right decisions moving down the line. It's a slow rebuild, but they're on the right track with some of the stuff. We just have to see how it translates on the field.
And they've been in a rebuild for a long time, so I mean, this is like the third or fourth rebuild in 5 years.
What's the stadium called now? Northwest Stadium.
Northwest Stadium.
No, it's Northwest Field. Northwest Field.
Northwest Field.
Dreadful name. They needed that new stadium fast, man.
They need it bad. They need it so bad. It's bad.
It's time.
I know, and the concession prices haven't gotten any cheaper from what I've seen.
Of course not. Why would they?
Yeah,
but that's everywhere, man. Like it's not just the Commanders. Like it's everywhere. Every stadium's expensive now. It's ridiculous.
It's very nuts.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting.
What about the defense? You didn't really touch on the defense much.
Oh, defense.
Yeah, and obviously, are you excited about them? Because obviously, Dan Quinn, you saw how he transformed the Cowboys defense from that abysmal defense that they had in 2020 to having one of the
best,
one of the top defenses. Leading for the last how many seasons? 3 seasons that he's been with us.
Yep.
So, like, are you excited to see what he brings to the table? Like. How do you feel?
I like the defense. I think Frankie Louvu's a huge pickup. I mean, Wagner's a vet. I mean, does he still have gas left in the tank? That's what I'm wondering. But
he could inspire, right? He can
coach up the younger guys. That's for sure. But
they need it.
On the field stuff, I'm not sure. But I'm glad he's in the building for whatever role he plays. And Ken Norton Jr.
Great presence.
And Ken Norton Jr., he's on staff as a coach. Used to coach Wagner as well. Payne and Allen didn't play at all in the preseason, but we know what they're worth up on the line. The corners, the safeties, I'm worried about Forbes. I think I think they're benching him, but looking at the corners, they've got to lock up the safeties and corners, because what kills us is the long pass plays.
Yeah,
I feel like our rushing and blitzing will do really good with those additions, but I say that and their defense will suck again. But that's just my opinion. But they got to lock up on the corners and safety department for sure. Excuse me, but it's gonna be interesting. But I think more than 4 wins is an acceptable standard to set the Commanders to as of right now.
Yeah, I think the key for them is definitely starting with getting pressure. I mean, every team wants to get pressure, but last year they just couldn't do it. And I think that's part of the reason why their secondary struggled so much. You leave those guys on an island for too long, you're going to give up big plays. And my God, their defense gave up a ton of long pass plays and just huge explosive plays last year. So they got to cut down on that. That's inexcusable. And I think with the additions you mentioned, Josh, as well as obviously having Dan Quinn there, I think he's going to do a great job in turning this defensive around. It's not going to happen instantly, I don't think. So I think people need to temper their expectations a bit. But know that, that it's being put in motion. It's going to take some time, but they definitely should be better this year. I'm kind of interested to see how the defense is able to hold up, because I think we know what we're going to expect with the offense. I mean, I think you called it. I think they're going to lean on the run more this year than they have in the past. That's what any team with a rookie quarterback and that goes into sort of a team that's been rebuilding is going to do. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But the division play, I stress that the NFC East,
it's tough.
It's going to be very tough. I mean, I'm not sure about the Giants, but
you got the Cowboys and Eagles, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Giants are probably the easiest team to probably beat
still
twice, so you can probably get 2 wins there. Maybe split with Dallas. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on how Dallas looks, and I think Philly. I don't know. You guys play Philly tough every time, so it's not unfeasible to see you guys splitting with Philly. Also,
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Carlos, I would like to beat Dallas at least once. That would be very nice.
it's not out of the question, man. It really isn't. I mean, Dan Quinn knows Dallas better than anybody.
That's a great point.
So that's the other thing too, is that he has a lot. He knows a lot of the offensive players on Dallas. He obviously knows all the defensive players on Dallas. So he knows their weaknesses. He knows their strengths. He knows probably how to attack them. Now, obviously, they're going to be running a completely different defense with Mike Zimmer. We'll get to the Cowboys in a little bit, but I would say these Cowboys Commanders games are. I think they're going to be very interesting. I think they will be very, very interesting.
Yeah. And also, I'm not sure if you saw or I told you all. I apologize if I forgot to mention this, but I did make my way to Commanders training camp. And
you
again,
did not mention that on your list of accomplishments this offseason.
I actually did make a video, but
no, you did. No, you did.
Yeah,
I'm just saying you didn't mention it.
Yeah, I made it out. It was pretty cool. I met some pretty cool people, and
you were also on the news.
Yes, I was.
Goofy ass.
Did you see that? Did you see?
You sent us a video.
Oh, yeah.
Goofy ass is the perfect description of it as well.
Goofy ass, dude.
But
I was laughing the whole time. I was like, "That's my guy right there."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's my guy right there."
It was actually awesome because the presser, Dan Quinn, Marcus Mariota was up there once. It was all like
I forgot about him.
Fenced in and closed, but you could hear it, which was incredible. You saw the media doing their thing. I'm like, man, this is what an NFL press conference is like.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be close to, man.
Oh, and also, what else? I gotta pull this real quick because this was pretty cool as well in my mind. If I can get this up and loaded, I'm hoping I can. Hopefully I can get it to go through. But anyways, just the training camp in and of itself, it was a lot shorter of a time. I only got tickets to opening day, which I was blessed to. I got a chance to meet minority owner Mark Ean. That was pretty cool to see. So but what else was really cool? And nobody really noticed him. And I noticed him first. And I tell you what a class act guy Governor Wes Moore is.
There you go.
I got a chance to meet him. I literally said, "Hey, Wes," and then his whole security team.
For the podcast listeners, real quick, Kirby just put up a picture of him with the governor.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, and obviously what he's been through over the past 6 months with the bridge collapse, everything. But coming out, obviously, I believe, without getting too political, he wants the stadium in Maryland. So that's why he was there on opening day. Yeah. But anyways, I call him over. I'm like, "Hey, what?"
Political. I'm a little confused by that. The state where the stadium is. I mean, honestly, the stadium needs to be in DC. Besides the point,
they make a whole political thing out of it, which I don't want to get into. I'm sure. Yeah, but anyways, I say, "Hey, Wes, can I get a picture?" And his whole security team, bubble, everything comes on over, and he's like, "Oh yeah, sure," and whatnot. And I give him my business card, and it's like, a PR guy.
Always.
I was like, "Hey, I'd love for you to check out my podcast." And his guy's wife said,
"Curse on this podcast." Like, I apologize.
Whoops. Wait, what happened, Kirby?
Always,
but yeah, he looked at my business card and he's like, "Man, we'll definitely have to keep in touch or this and that."
Wow, you could have him on.
I mean,
that'd be a pretty big deal.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would, but
we could talk to them about the stadium and what they would want. Maybe they could put it right next to M&T Bank.
No, let's not do that.
that was funny.
You'll have
But-
Camden Yards, you'll have M&T Bank, and then
And a
you'll have
tunnel.
whatever the hell they're gonna call that new one.
Commie
Yeah.
Stadium. Yeah.
yeah, but it was pretty
The
cool meeting
dump.
him. He was very nice, gracious enough for
It's
his
cool.
time and taking a picture with me, and it was a blast. So training
stuff,
camp
man.
was fun too. It was a lot less space because they were resodding the practice field off to the side, but for one day it was pretty cool. And obviously I got to see my good friend Mark Mesley, a friend of the podcast.
There you go.
He was there, and then I see Reed, he's around, and I'm like, man, this is so cool. I haven't seen him in like 4 or 5 years or something, but that was pretty cool. But all in all, I'm looking forward to it. Commanders football expectation, I think more than 4 games. If I see more, I'll be impressed too.
It's good.
I think
No,
it's time
no
to
nuggets.
talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys? All right,
How
Carlos,
about
it's all
them
yours.
Cowboys?
What do y'all want to talk about? What is there to talk about? There's nothing to talk about with the Cowboys. They did absolutely nothing this offseason, per usual.
I mean, they re-signed CD Lamb. You must be happy. About that.
Congratulations. You know, that's something that should have been done a while ago, but they waited forever to do it.
Yeah, that's
You know,
fair
now
point.
they're taking their sweet time to sign. I don't know, man. I'm very out on the Cowboys right now. I have not really kept up with any of their shenanigans this offseason. I definitely have not listened to a single thing Jerry Jones has said because
his-
Now that part's important. Yeah,
His
that part's
pressers, it's like we're in no urgency to re-sign CD Lamb, and he quotes
He's-
that tweet, and I'm like, what are we
important.
doing?
Yeah, he's a dummy.
yeah, hold on. Give
I'm
me
not
one
sure.
second. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I sent that.
Okay. Jerry Jones is 81 years of age. You know who else is 81 years of age? President Joe Biden. What did we just do to Joe Biden? We just made him drop out of the presidential race because
Mhm.
he was just not there. Okay.
Yep.
Don't mean to bring politics completely into this podcast, but this is my example. Why is he still the GM of this team? Why are
You know
we
what?
letting an 81-year-old who's clearly not at
With
the
it.
top of his game anymore? The game,
He's not with it.
a lot of people are starting to see it now. The game has passed him by.
Yep.
He is completely out of touch. He is not savvy enough with the cap to be able to make it work for him. They always come out on the losing end of contracts, right?
Mhm.
And that's why we're in the situation that we're in, where we have no cap space really to
Yeah.
work with because you know you paid all these guys so much money, and it's just like, but you didn't really work it well enough to where you could move it around at the end. It's the same old, man. It's just like he had so much success in the beginning of his career, and he's been riding the coattails of that, and he's more interested in making the Cowboys the most profitable, the most valuable franchise in the world, but not actually investing it back into the team and making the product on the field worthy of what they tried to portray themselves as. For example, one of the top soccer teams in the world, Real Madrid, right? They win trophies year after year, and they're winning the big one. They're winning the Champions League consistently, and they're spending money. They're buying all these great players, and that's what they portray themselves as. That's like the Galacticos. They portray themselves as like they're above everybody, and we have the talent, we have the money, the talent to just to beat anybody. The Cowboys don't do that.
They don't
The
have that.
Cowboys are awful at re-signing their players and getting contracts that work for both people, right? Most of the times they end up conceding so much.
Mhm.
And i.e. the Ezekiel Elliott contract, they completely caved to that one, and it ultimately was not worth it. You know, these Dak Prescott contract negotiations, they have given him so much leverage and power and he wants to get paid. He basically wants to reset the market, and it's like, what have you done to really reset the market? And I like Dak Prescott. I'm a Dak Prescott, defender kind of. I mean, I've kind of softened my stance on him after this past season. It's just, I don't know, man. The Cowboys just, I think they've just hurt like me as a fan too many times that like I just don't really want to do it again this year, and I just rather invest my time in the Chiefs more than the Cowboys, because at least the Chiefs are a competent franchise and are run by pretty competent people, and the Cowboys aren't really like that. And it's just going to be more of the same, man. And until Jerry lets go control and the Jones family decides to finally bring a competent GM who's going to know how to run the franchise correctly, and they stop being a small family business that they're not, it's hard for me to get excited for this season. I do foresee us winning at least 10 games. But I do not see us getting past the first round of the playoffs at all. I don't think they have the firepower to do it. Now, obviously, they still have CeeDee Lamb. It's another year of Jake Ferguson, who is a guy that even Travis Kelce's excited about. But the running backs don't excite me that much. We brought Zeke back.
You have Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. I mean, we'll see how that goes. It didn't go great last year, but he claims he's back. And yeah, we have Brendan Cooks too still. I mean, but we'll see how he does. But aside from that, like, there's not really much there behind them. And like the receivers are just one injury away from everything like being terrible, because CeeDee's going to get doubled. And then who else is on? I don't even really know who else our receivers are, because we got rid of Gallup. So like he's gone.
I would say it hurts too that you don't have Deron Bland for at least 6 to 8 weeks.
I was about to get to that. Obviously they lost Deron Bland. We're getting Trayvon Diggs back from his ACL injury, so
I think that will help.
But it's going to take him a while to get back. It's not as if he's going to be playing at that level that he. Yeah, he's not going to be back here where he was. He's going to be significantly lower because he's got to play back up to that level. Mm-hmm. And also, we're running a different defense this year, so that Cowboys defense is going to struggle a little bit because they're going to have to get used to Mike Zimmer's defense, which is a completely different defensive scheme. Like they're all about the big boys up front and getting big bodies and stuff like that. And we don't really have that right now. So the Cowboys are, I'm just not high on them right now. And I honestly don't know if we're going to beat Cleveland or not. I think we can make a game out of it, but I'm just not sure if we have the firepower to do that. Now, we obviously lost a lot of pieces on the offensive line. We lost Tyron Smith. We lost, obviously, Tyler Biadasz, but we drafted that kid out of Oklahoma, Guyton, who by all accounts has looked great. And I'm not even sure who's playing center. I think it's Brock Hoffman. I'm not sure. I'm not even 100% positive on who's playing center.
Brock Hoffman.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what corrections Dak can make, but I just don't trust him in big games, man. Like that Packers game really broke me. Like we had it all right in front of us again, and once again they screwed the pooch. But this time, I decided this whole summer I was not going to really follow much on what the Cowboys were doing. Obviously, that you can't avoid everything, but I was pretty much not listening to a single thing Cowboys related. And those are my thoughts on the Cowboys. I'm not high on them this year. I'm really not. I don't see us having a great season. Well, I've been seeing a mid-season, but not like the last few years.
Yeah, I agree with that, Carlos. Yeah, I think the Cowboys are a cautionary tale on what one man's ego can sort of do. The problem has been, it's not that the Cowboys haven't had the talent or the players around to have a championship caliber team. I think it's the fact that Jerry Jones says ridiculous things. He comes out and he makes ridiculous claims. Now, he didn't really make any claims this offseason, but he has in the past.
No, yeah, he did. He's all in. We were going all in.
Well, I mean,
and we did nothing.
Everybody says they're going all in.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess when it comes from Jerry Jones, it's a little different. But yeah, I think that's kind of why the Cowboys are in the situation they're in. I agree with Carlos, but given his ego is the size of Texas, I think his family is.
That was a good
they
one.
Don't know how to run a football team either. So even if he were to give it up, it stays in the family. Still not good. They would have.
Well, obviously, then Steven takes over, and Steven's already doing GM responsibility, so he's going to probably keep it the same, where he's just going to make himself the GM, but he's also getting beat on these contract negotiations.
Yep. It's just a bad situation, man. It's just a bad situation. So I feel for you there. It's not that this team doesn't have talent. They do. They could certainly make a run in the NFC. I have no question about that if they can stay the course. But yeah, until
I just don't
Jones
think we
is
have
out
it.
there,
Like,
don't.
But just like think about who we're going up against in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
We got San Francisco, who right now they're a little banged up, right? But they just obviously got Trent Williams back, but who's to say Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy? Who's to say Brock Purdy stays on this level of ascent that he has, right?
True.
Obviously, they got the Brendan Ayuk deal done. This is probably the last year they have Deebo Samuel. But look at how loaded that team is, and we already know they're Dallas's kryptonite. Dallas can't beat them. You have the Detroit Lions, who honestly should have beaten us last season. They should have. And by some miracle, Dallas pulled it out because of a wonky call by the referee. But they were kicking our butts in that game. You have who else do we got over there? You have the Green Bay Packers. You have the Philadelphia Eagles. You have the Rams. Like, the Rams are going to be really good this year.
Forgot about the Rams.
You got all these teams in the NFC that are, I think, better situated and to make the run and have talent that's going to last a while, whereas Dallas does not. When you look at the history, the most recent Super Bowl winners, none of them have the highest paid quarterback on their roster.
Yep, that's right.
And that's what Dak Prescott is seeking. I don't understand why he feels as if he deserves that contract, and it's mostly because of the demand of the market, where he knows
that's what it is.
Where he knows, hey, if you guys don't want to give it to me, some other team out there is going to give it to me.
Because guys like Kirk Cousins that have reset the market and totally turned it on its head. It's the reason why it's in the shape it's in now.
Agreed. But like, to me, it's like I feel like this is the issue with the quarterback market is even the mid-level guys. The mid-level guys are getting paid like top-level guys.
Yeah,
and the top-level guys are the smart ones and are like, hey,
we're going to
pay me how I deserve to be paid, but be smart about it. Right. Again, Tom Brady took so many pay cuts because he wanted a good team around him. Granted, at the end, Bill Belichick just couldn't find a good team around him.
Yeah.
But yet he was still making it work. Patrick Mahomes restructures his contract to try to help guys out so that they can retain people. I'm positive at some point Lamar will do the same. He'll try to restructure his contract, but that's what I'm saying is that, like, how does Dak expect the Cowboys to provide him a team that works? Oh, granted, we're talking about Jerry Jones here, though. So who's to say even if he had the cap space, he would use it, right? But how does he expect to be able to keep key players and stuff like that? We still got to sign Micah Parsons. Yeah. We still got to do that. And how does he expect to do that when he's taking up a big chunk of the cap space? He's looking for $60 million a year. What have you done to earn $60 million a year? I'm sorry. You have not gone past the divisional round. You haven't done more than Tony Romo has done. It's been embarrassing playoff loss after embarrassing playoff loss. Like, where is the success? Where in your... And again, Dak Prescott as a person, phenomenal, love him and everything. But as a player, he just has not delivered.
Yep. I totally agree.
I think you nailed the hammer on the head, I botched that, but you get
Nail
what
on
I'm
the
saying.
Yeah,
Yep.
we get it. We get it. We get it. We get it.
But Carlos, could this be the season that you might rescind your fanhood once again for the
No,
Dallas
I don't
Cowboys?
think I will ever rescind my fanhood like that ever again.
No.
I mean, I'm always gonna watch. Like, I'm always gonna watch them. I'm always gonna
course.
be hoping that they prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I will be so happy to be proven wrong. Right? But just the way history has gone, they have not proven me wrong. They have done exactly what Stephen A. Smith says. They give you that hope, and then they break your little heart.
Your little heart.
It just never fails. They are the disaster. They're the accident waiting to happen, and it never fails. So this is just the life. I mean, that's why like these delusional Cowboys fans who just give us such a bad name. I'm just like, man, like, what are you guys so like arrogant about? Like, we have won nothing. Like nothing. Like, we haven't even been like, no, the 49ers fans can talk. Like, sure, they haven't won a Super Bowl in longer, but at least they get to the game, right? And they're always like within a play of winning it, right? It's just unfortunately the ball does not bounce their way. But like, we can't even get past the divisional round. So like, what are we so arrogant about? What are we going around puffing up our chest out? We haven't had any success in the 90s. Most of us fans right now weren't alive for that run. Yep. So like, sit down. Like, until this team actually gives us something to be proud of, there's nothing to be proud about.
It's well said, Carlos. Well said.
With that, I think it's time we take one final break and then get in once again to the Kirby on Sports PickEms for week number 1. Carlos is ready. Dan is ready. I am ready right after this.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about... Jay, what are you doing here? Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
All right. We are back. It is now time.
It's time for the pick'ems.
The pick'ems.
You like that? I'm going to try to do that every week.
I already pulled it up. Sorry.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
I knew it. I knew it was
all right, ladies and gentlemen. Week 1 of year. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do this correctly. Kirby, take that one thing off. Take the thing on the bottom off.
Yes, let me do that. I'm sorry.
But anyways, all right, let's do this properly. Let's do this properly again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to year 4 of the Kirby on Sports NFL Pick'ems. This, of course, is only the second year that we've been doing the full season. Of course, brought to you by our friends at Anthony's Pizza in Stevens City, Virginia. I'm sorry. Their motto is "Home of the Warrior." I did not say that. Shout out to Felice. Anyways, obviously, we are all 0-0 right now. Obviously, I'm the back-to-back champion.
I'm in first place. No.
You're tied for first place.
Yeah.
You're also tied for last place.
Yes.
Congrats, Kirby.
As of right now, the way the standings have gone, I've won the last 2 years. Dan won the first year that we did this. But of course, that was back when we were just, that's because that was, of course, when we were just doing the playoffs. And obviously last year, it literally, like the year before, came down to the very last game, and the Chiefs saving my butt and getting me the title. So for that, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, I thank you.
Good one.
So for week 1, we have decided to obviously go with Kansas City, Baltimore. We've gone Green Bay and Philadelphia live from Brazil. We went Cleveland, Dallas, the Commanders, Buccaneers, the Lions and Rams, and the Jets, 49ers. I will go first, as always. I am going with the Chiefs, of course, because I'm contractually obligated to pick the Chiefs. Of course, the same rules still apply. If our team is on the pick'ems, we have to pick them. That's the way I sabotage Kirby and make him, lose these pick'ems. But yes, I will take the Chiefs, obviously, because I'm contractually obligated. I'm going to take the Eagles over the Packers. I think the Eagles have something to prove this year after the debacle of last season. And I do think Kellen Moore is going to definitely throw some crazy things out there offensively that is going to be interesting to see. And it's week 1, just weird things are going to happen. And I just don't think the Packers are ready for the level that they think they are. I think that they had a very successful end of the season last year. And for some reason, I have a feeling like they feel like that's where they're going to pick up, like right where they left off. But that's not how it works. And I think they're going to learn that, hey, like we're going to have a lot of work to do. I'm obviously taking the Cowboys over the Browns because I'm contractually obligated to do so, but I will not be surprised if the Browns win. The Browns are a pretty good team, and it's Deshaun Watson's coming back. And we'll see how he looks healthy. And it's Brady's first game calling, we'll see how that goes also. I'm going to take the Buccaneers over the Commanders. I was a little flippy floppy on this one. At first I wanted to take the Commanders, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, Baker Mayfield, this is his team now. He played fantastic last year. And I just think there's going to be some growing pains, obviously, with the rookie quarterback and everything. But so I went the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Lions over the Rams. I think the Lions are going to be a very big problem this year. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are going to be really hard to stop. And I think this is going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to be just like how it was last year, where it came down to the wire. Obviously, Matthew Stafford coming back again. So I'm going with the Lions. And then, San Francisco is just going to I'm not going to say they're going to demolish Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, but they really did the Jets no favors with this one. So I'm going to take San Francisco over the Jets, but I do think the Jets are going to be pretty much more competitive this season than they were last season, just because Aaron Rodgers does elevate that position. So with that, we send it to Dan Dembski.
Thank you very much. So yes, I am going to obviously pick the Baltimore Ravens over the Kansas City Chiefs because I'm contractually obligated. I think it's going to be a great game, as we have all alluded to. Probably going to come down to the leg of Harrison Butker or Justin Tucker. Just saying. See, I'm going to take the Ravens there.
Tell him not to warm up in front of my quarterback.
Oh, here we go again. Okay. We'll do. I'm going to take the Eagles over the Packers. I agree. Carlos pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. Damn you, Carlos.
That's what I do.
I just don't think the Packers are there on the same level as the Eagles just yet. And the Eagles are, I think head and shoulders one of the best teams in the NFC. And I agree with Carlos that they're out for revenge on how last season ended. It ended so poorly for them. So they know that brutal taste of defeat in their mouths, and they're going to come back this year and try to get that, right the ship there. So give me the Eagles over the Packers. I'm going to take Dallas over the Browns, mostly because I hate Deshaun Watson and I hate the Browns. And yeah, that's kind of my only reason.
Valid.
I think Dallas is better, is slightly better than Cleveland right now, I will say. I'm going to take Tampa Bay over the Commanders. This is another one I kind of went back and forth on because I think scrappy Commanders team, first week with the rookie quarterback, could pull off the upset here, but yeah, new head coach. They have a lot to prove. But I think, as Carlos said, I just think Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay offense are just going to be too much for the Commanders, which, they have a lot of questions on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary still, as they've had in past years. So give me the Buccaneers. I'll take Detroit. They'll take the Lions over the Rams. Carlos, once again, stole the words right out what I was going to say, man. You're just too good at this. The Lions are...
It's always down to the wire, bro. We have the same thoughts.
I know. Yeah, the Lions are just a solid team. We all know what happened last year. They were just a few plays away from making the big dance. So
Yeah.
I
They were.
they really were. They really were
They
pretty
really
close.
were,
So,
man. Damn it. They almost did it too.
I know. San Francisco got lucky, but
Twice. They got lucky twice because
True.
the Packers were also kicking their butts.
True. Yeah, I think Detroit will continue their momentum rolling into this season. And then finally, I'm going to take the 49ers over the Jets. I just think the 49ers are a much better football team at this stake. I know Aaron Rodgers is coming back, and they're certainly going to be better than they were last year, as Carlos alluded to. They couldn't get much more dysfunctional than they were last year, so I think Aaron Rodgers is going to make a difference, but not enough. San Francisco is just too powerful, and I think they beat the Jets by 2 scores. That's going to be my prediction. And with that, I will throw you to host, CEO, and founder of the Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast, Mr. Josh Kirby. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dan. So my pick'ems, I will start off with the Kansas City Chiefs over the Baltimore Ravens. In my mind, I just don't think the Chiefs lose another banner raising like they did last year. I'm picking the Eagles over the Packers, although the Packers have a lot of weapons, a lot of hope in Jordan Love. I think the Eagles are one step above them. That's why I'm picking the Eagles. The Cowboys over the Browns. I think the Cowboys have the edge over the Browns all day long in my mind. Although the Browns have a pretty good defense, I still think Dallas comes up on top. I am contractually obligated to pick the Washington Commanders. I will pick them. I think they could cause some disruption to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they're going to have to keep turnovers to a minimum and protect Jaden Daniels. The Detroit Lions, I think they do what they did last year and defeat the Rams. Dan Campbell, this Lions team will be ready to go. I guarantee it. And the Niners over the Jets. I mean, what do the Jets have?
Not
what do they really have? I'm picking.
No. I will not let this bashing continue. The Jets do have some good weapons. I mean, let's not forget they beat Buffalo week 1 last year after Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
That's
they
true.
took Kansas City to the limit. Like Kansas City had to struggle to win that game. They do have a good defense. It's just they didn't have a great quarterback last year. And I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is going to be a world beater. You know, he's over the age of 40, coming back from an Achilles injury. I don't think he's going to be as good as his MVP years, but he's a way better upgrade than Zach Wilson, you know?
Oh, anything's better. True.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, he's the Jets I feel like will play decent in this game. They're not going to get blown out, but I don't think they beat the 49ers.
Yeah. I think you're correct there, Carlos. They do have some good weapons, which I failed to allude to, but I still feel like the 49ers are the better team in this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
No doubt.
Agreed.
With that being said, that is the week 1 pick'em. And
are we doing a competition again this year? Did we get that cleared?
Undetermined yet.
Someone still owes the punishment.
Oh, yeah. You still owe us 2 years worth of punishment.
Yeah,
4 years running.
I know. Let's make it happen. Just hit me up.
You're not.
But that's the thing. You keep saying
us.
Hold on. You keep talking about it, Kirby, but you're never about it. All right. I'm tired of the talk. I want to see action. Okay. You have 24 hours to eat 40 pancakes. Okay. How you want to do this is up to you. We lowered the number down for you. It should still be 48 pancakes, but we lowered it down to 40.
All right.
You can do that.
I'll see. I gotta prep myself and get it done.
You do.
With that concludes episode 204. Boys, are you ready for football?
We're back, boys. We're back.
And we're better than ever.
We're back.
Ooh, we are back. Better than ever. As always, a huge thanks to our sponsors, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives,
see this, Dan? It's so pretty.
Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate,
pretty.
Transformative Alignment Group, Barrett, Pest, and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, and the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. For Carlos, the Swiss Army Knife Martinez, and the weapon, Dan Dembski. Gentlemen, an honor and a pleasure. Looking forward to all season long.
Are
Hell
you ready
yeah.
for some football?
Woo.
Woo! Thank you so much for tuning in. For the weapon, Dan Dembski, Carlos, the Swiss Army Knife Martinez. I am Josh Kirby. Until next time, we say so long and peace out.